Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I'm presenting today SB403, which will provide state water authorities with an important tool to help Californians get closer to realizing safe, reliable, and affordable drinking water. In 2015, as many of you know, the legislature passed SB 88, which provided the State Water Board with the authority to order mandatory consolidations for water systems that serve disadvantaged communities that consistently fail to provide safe drinking water. While this authority is important, in the state's safe drinking water efforts, it can only be used in situations where the damage has already been done to these communities, and the system is already providing unsafe water. Waiting until a struggling water system fails before taking action doesn't really make any sense. So SB 403 provides a proactive solution to this problem by expanding the SB 88 Consolidation Authority to apply to water systems that serve disadvantaged communities and that are at risk of failing in planning ahead. For that. Consolidation is an effective tool in providing access to safe water because larger consolidated systems are generally more reliable, safe, and efficient, and this is evidenced by the fact that 90% of all drinking water violations in California occur in small water systems. Members, disadvantaged communities have historically been overburdened with the impacts of water contamination in California. I certainly know these communities like mine in Southeast Los Angeles pay sky-high bills in some cases for brown water and can no longer abide by the inaction by the state. We must act now. Testifying in support today on SB 403, I have Michael Claiborne, the Directing Attorney for Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability, and Maria Olivera, a board member of the Toolville Mutual Nonprofit Water Company.
Okay, let's turn to your witnesses.
Thank you.
Good morning to the chair and the committee. I'm Michael Claiborne with Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability, an environmental and social justice organization based in the San Joaquin Valley and East Coachella Valley. SB 403 builds on SB 88 in 2015 to aid in the struggle to ensure that all Californians have access to safe and affordable drinking water. This is an environmental justice issue with the burden of contaminated tap water disproportionately impacting communities of color. Under current law, the state board does not have any effective tools to get stakeholders into a room to talk about consolidation if a system has not yet failed, even if it's entirely predictable that it will fail. Every day I see firsthand the challenges that small water systems face to keep the lights on and clean water flowing. These structural challenges include difficulty retaining an active board and certified operator, intermittent water quality violations, lack of backup water sources, and poor economies of scale and a limited ratepayer base. It doesn't make sense to wait for a water system to fail, causing families to lose access to water and the state to inefficiently expend public funds to deliver bottled water. Instead, the state should work proactively alongside communities to identify and implement solutions for water systems that are at risk and on the cusp of failure. This bill importantly requires meaningful consultation and consideration of input from those served by the at-risk water system. We urge an aye vote, and I'll turn the time over to Maria to talk a little bit about Tulare and Tulare County and how her community could benefit from SB 403. As some quick background, Tulare is a disadvantaged community with only 76 homes served by a small at-risk water system impacted by intermittent nitrate violations, hexavalent chromium contamination, and financial and governance challenges. Despite available state funding and years of voluntary talks, the city of Exeter cut off all consolidation talks in 2019.
Good morning. This is Maria Olivera, a board member with Toolville Mutual Nonprofit Water. I am here speaking in support of SB 403. Toolville is a small community with only 76 homes in Tulare County. We are responsible for our water system. It is so important for us to be connected to the city of Exeter, which is less than a mile. It is hard for such small community to take care of everything that needs to be done to keep our water system running. We need help to connect to the city consolidation so that states won't pay so much money for bottled water, and so that we have safe drinking water. As a sample, it is almost $1,000 to fix a pump or our well. almost $1,000, and we had to do that several times with the past years. We also need help to put meters because people use too much water over the summer. Again, we ask for support for the community of Tullyville and other communities in the same situation as the Tulare County. Thank you.
Okay. Those are
the two.
witnesses. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Senator. Okay, let's, I don't see anyone here to testify in 4203. I have seen the pictures of 2040. Don't see anyone there either. So let's go to the phone line, see if there's anyone who wants to weigh in and support. Please just give your name and affiliation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to speak in support of SB403, please press 1, then 0. An operator will provide you with your line number and place you back into queue. Once again, if you wish to speak in support of SB403, please press 1, then 0 now. And Mr. Chairman, we have 5 people in queue.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line number 18, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair and members. Nikita Karate with the Natural Resources Defense Council calling in support of SB 403 and also calling to register support on behalf of Clean Water Action. Thank you.
Line number 89, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Melissa Romero with the California League of Conservation Voters in support of SB 403. Thank you.
Line number 92, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Jim Lindberg on behalf of the Friends Committee on Legislation of California in support of SB 403. Thank you.
Line number 85, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This is Lauren Cullum on behalf of Sierra Club California in support of SB 403. Thank you.
Line number 59, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Chair and members. This is Ludia Saldivar with the Community Water Center, calling in strong support of SB 403. Thank you for your time, and Senator Gonzalez for your leadership on this issue.
And at this time, Mr. Chairman, we have no one else in queue for SB 403 support.
Okay. All right, let's go to opposition, concerns about the bill. I don't think we have anyone at least registered to testify in opposition, and I don't see anyone here in the room, but maybe there's anyone on the phone lines who'd like to register opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to speak in opposition of SB 403, please press 1, then 0. An operator will take your line number and place you back into queue. Once again, if you wish to speak in opposition of SB 403, please press 1, then 0. And at this time, Mr. Chairman, looks like we have no one in opposition, but we do have someone else for support.
Okay.
Thank you. Line number 93, your line is open.
Hi, Cynthia Castillo on behalf of the Western Center on Law and Poverty in support of SB 403.
Thank you. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, and there is no registered opposition to the bill. You can see the support and opposition in the analysis. So let's bring the item back to the committee for questions, thoughts. Senator Wachowski.
This is obviously the natural next step that we take in requiring and forcing these failing water districts. I did take a little exception of one of your witnesses saying it was an EJ issue and it was the state control problem. The problem should be put at the foot of the culprit, and these are these local failing water districts to continue to collect fees, continue to push back on not doing voluntary consolidations, and this is what has forced us to come up with this. I mean, the state has done as much as they could, encouraging consolidations, helping out with resources, helping out with educating some of the folks. It's not your father's water district anymore where you can just sell water because you've got the hookups. So that's the first thing that I just clear up. And then the second is that who is not covered? These are people that have 15 units or less are not controlled by the state. And I think a lot of people that are advocates that are on the line think that we're going to deliver safe drinking water to everybody. We don't have any jurisdiction over them. Some of the worst failing situations are people that are on 10 or 12, they're all on a well. They think that dad or grandpa drilled the well once upon a time, and these nitrates and some naturally occurring contaminants. It's not, no human being has done anything. So I applaud Ms. Gonzalez for bringing this into saying, okay, we've been nice on voluntary consolidations. Now we're going to force these consolidations on people that are failing. And we've had a lovely conversation by other members here about truth that's being sent out to the public. And I think this is one of these continuing problems where the state has tippy-toed. We've done the best we can, and this is the consequence. So with that, I'll move the bill.
Thank you. Senator Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Totally get the problem, understand it. Too familiar with it, actually. Couple questions, though. So who's going to pay? So we did, the state passed SB 88, then we saw, what was it, Porterville. Porterville in the valley, there's huge disadvantaged communities where we had systems failing and contaminated water and no funding. Number one, you have Prop 218 that they don't pass fees on themselves typically. So that's a barrier. You have LAFCO concerns about forcing them into consolidation. And so what we saw was we did the Monning bill, was it last year? And I know that Senator Wachowski loved that bill because it took greenhouse gas monies and fixed a water problem. So what my question is how, I mean, I understand the complexities of this issue, and what's the mechanism to actually, when you force somebody to do something, you're expecting it to get done and consolidate. But at the end of the day, you have maybe one system that and I read through the analysis that we have about, you know, you basically are not asking them to put up any more money. You're trying to make them merge without putting money up. But there's a huge disconnect there because some of these systems need a lot of finances invested in them, and then you're putting a burden on a system that is, and so you're taxing somebody who is not getting the benefit from which then becomes a LAFCO issue. So I just wanted what your thoughts were on how this would actually play out and work.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Daly. And I think these are the few steps that need to be done before consolidation. And as mentioned by Senator Wachowski, there's voluntary consolidation that could be an option, partial mergers, so it's not a full merger. You know, there's different options that could be done. But at the end of the day, these folks are not receiving, as you mentioned, clean water for the amount that they're paying, and especially in disadvantaged communities that aren't getting that. I mean, to be able to potentially merge without the state, or even just getting a letter from the state, or, you know, by saying this is a suggestion for you to consolidate, and you're within 3 miles of a good performing company, I think would be an opportunity for, again, the betterment of the constituents that we all serve. And we don't also want to tap into the SB $200 if we don't need to. And that's $130 million, I think, per year. So, you know, if we don't have to do that, we shouldn't be able to do that. We have to be able to just provide these prevention mechanisms, these harm prevention mechanisms, to be able to allow folks to, again, come up with their own plan before we get involved. Because right now, the State Water Board is also focused on those that are already failing. And so they're not going to have, you know, I mean, this is just going to be on our radar, but one other thing that we can do to just at least put it on our radar and hopefully get those folks to do it on their own.
Well, we haven't, under SB 88, we haven't been successful in getting them to do it on their own. And because it boils down to those three things I talked about, which is Prop 218, LAFCO, and then financing. And those are trust me, these people would be happy to do it, but they can't afford to do it. And we can pass a mandate onto them, but a mandate is simply something that says you have to do this, and then there's no vehicle for them to be able to raise the rate to be able to accomplish the goal.
Yeah, it's just a consideration. It's not a mandate. And what I would say is right now, I mean, we need the data at least to be able to see where these at-risk failing systems are. But I will tell you, I mean, they're on the cusp of failing because they have various indicators which are being assessed right now by the Water Board. As you know, poor governance, lack of financial reserves, failure to maintain operations and maintenance, presence of primary and secondary contaminants. I mean, these are really severe issues that we can't wait, you know, to just one day figure out. We have to at least have them on our radar. So I'll leave it at that, but I just, you know, want to thank you for engaging.
Is there a cap on the size of water systems?
No, there is no cap. It's just, it falls in line with SB 88.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator. And Senator Wachowski would like to move the bill.
Move the bill.
And do you have a close or?
Just want to say thank you for engaging, and I just hope that we can do good work for our communities that need safe drinking water. And I thank you, all the stakeholders who called in today. Thank you as well.
All right, thank you so much. All right, the bill has been moved by Senator Wachowski. Let's, consultant, please call the roll.
Item number 5, SB 403 by Senator Gonzalez. The motion is do pass, but first be re-referred to the Committee on Governance and Finance. Allen.
Aye.
Allen, aye. Bates.
Not voting.
Bates not voting. Daly.
No.
Daly, no. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Gonzalez, is your mic on?
Aye.
Gonzalez, aye. Skinner. Stern. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski, aye.
Okay, so that is, we're going to leave that open for Senator Skinner to add on.